Dogmen or Cynocephali were not mere myths, but figures recorded throughout history across vast regions, from the ancient land of Canaan, modern day Jordan and Israel, to Greece, India, Tartaria, North Africa, Ethiopia, Saudi Arabia, Iran, and even Antarctica, depicted on the Piri Reis map. A different kind of dogman inhabits North America, which we'll get to a little later. For centuries, they appeared in historical records, medieval manuscripts, maps, and artwork, depicted as humanoid beings with canine heads. Some believe they were the result of genetic manipulation by an advanced pre flood civilization. The most famous of these beings is none other than Saint Christopher, the patron saint of travelers, who was originally depicted as a dog-headed giant. However, much like Tartaria, the Aether, free energy, and ley lines, the Cynocephali were erased from mainstream history, and Saint Christopher's true origins were rewritten and forgotten over time. Let's get into it. Many medieval and Renaissance maps depict cynocephaly in remote regions, particularly in Tartaria, but also in India and Ethiopia. These maps show dogmen alongside giants, Blemmys, and other creatures, reinforcing the idea that they were believed to be real at the time. The famous Mappa Mundi of the year 1300 placed dog-headed tribes beyond the known world, suggesting they were either real but isolated or part of a hidden civilization like Tartaria or even linked to the inner earth. The Tartarian Empire was an ancient advanced civilization that spanned Eurasia. The Cynocephali lived among and fought for them. Tartaria had hybrid beings, giants, and genetically altered species from pre flood civilizations like Atlantis, Lemuria, and Mu. The dogmen served as Tartarian shock troops, guards, and enforcers, described as genetically modified warriors used in battle. Genetically modified warriors used in battle? For this, we need to go to Romania to learn more. As I mentioned in the Inner Hollow Earth episode, the Hall of Records in Romania beneath the Busegi Mountains houses advanced holographic technology that allows viewers to visualize Earth's past, including ancient civilizations, genetic experiments, and non human influences. The technology confirms that the dogmen were not mere myths, but were the result of deliberate genetic manipulation. These holographic Hall of Records are not limited to Romania. They exist in locations around the world, hidden beneath ancient structures and sacred sites. These sites include the Sphinx of Giza in Egypt, Mount Kailash in Tibet, the Grand Canyon, USA, Ellora Caves in India, under Antarctica, and probably many more. This aligns with depictions of hybrid beings across different cultures. Egypt's Anubis, the Minotaur of Crete, and the Sumerian Apkallu, all evidence of genetic engineering. The dogmen were one of many hybrid species that used to walk the earth but have been erased from mainstream history. These same genetic experiments also explain the presence of the Blemmys, headless humanoids with faces in their chests, as well as the monopods, strange one-legged beings. It's clear that humanity's past is far stranger than we've been led to believe. Now, back to the dogmen. Thousands of people carry religious icons of Saint Christopher in their cars, on keychains, or on their person. Yet few know his origin stories as a dog headed giant. While giants were common in biblical times, what makes this story even more fascinating is the existence of an entire race of dog headed people. Saint Christopher was originally named Reprobus. He wanted to serve the most powerful ruler in the world. At first, he served a mighty king, but when he noticed the king feared Satan, he realized Satan must be even more powerful. He sought out Satan and served him. One day, noticing that Satan crossed a road to avoid a roadside cross, and realized that Christ must be even more powerful than Satan. So he sought out a Christian hermit who taught him about Jesus, praying, and fasting, but instead decided to serve God by helping travelers cross a dangerous river. One day, he carried a child who became incredibly heavy. After struggling, they finally reached the other side of the river. The child then revealed that he was Christ and that Reprobus had been carrying the weight of the world. Christ then baptized him and named him Christopher, which means Christ bearer. Long after Christopher's death, the church edited out the giant and dog headed parts. Now let's check out some historical mentions. The Greek physician Ctesias of the 5th century BCE wrote about dog headed people in India who lived by hunting. They could understand language and spoke through barking. In actuality, they didn't speak through barking. That was only for the humans to understand them. They were speaking to each other telepathically, way more advanced than us humans, and really good for battle situations. The famous explorer Herodotus of the 5th century BCE described the dogmen in North Africa. Pliny the Elder, a Roman naval and army commander of the 1st century CE, described them in his Natural History, describing them as a race living beyond the known world. Isidore of Seville, an archbishop of the 6th century, mentioned the Cynocephali as a real race long before Tartary was officially erased from maps. Everyone knows Marco Polo of the 13th century. He described strange humanoid creatures through his travels in Asia. Though he didn't specifically mention the Cynocephali, some believe his accounts of barbaric non human tribes referred to them. Sir John Mandeville of the 14th century, an English knight and traveler, wrote about dogmen living in the far reaches of the east, near what would have been Tartarian lands. Now off to the Middle East. Is there a connection between the Cynocephaly dogmen and Islamic jinn? I think there are some interesting parallels worth talking about. First, the jinn are known shapeshifters. In Islamic folklore, these beings made of smokeless fire can take on any form they choose: human, animal, hybrid, which sounds a lot like the dogmen. There's also the black dog connection. The Prophet Muhammad, that we cannot show, warned about black dogs being a type of jinn or devil in disguise. It's not just Islamic folklore. We see similar stories all over the world. The Rougarou, the Cajun werewolf, the Nagas of India, even the skinwalkers of Native American lore. And in every case, we're talking about beings that can shift from human to canine forms, just like the jinn. What about the North American dogman? Aside from the skinwalkers, there's the Beast of Bray Road and the Michigan Dogman. Described as werewolf like beings, they very well could be a surviving form of cynocephaly, but I'll have to save these stories for a future episode. The presence of the dogmen of Tartaria and beyond on ancient maps, medieval texts, and religious iconography suggests they were known and acknowledged, but over time they vanished, possibly exterminated, forced underground, and deliberately erased from history. It makes you think, what else was erased from history along with Tartaria, the Aether, free energy, ley lines, and dogmen? Could there be other forgotten species, lost technologies, and hidden knowledge waiting to be uncovered? Most definitely. What do you think about dogmen or cynocephaly? Were they real beings or just fictional monsters like the ones in far off, unexplored lands on ancient maps? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And as always, I'm not saying this and every episode I share is 100% true. I'm just telling a story and you can believe what you want. Uncovering the truth, one conspiracy at a time. See you next week on the White Rabbit YouTube channel.